In a place called Hobbytown, there are all manner of collectors. He's a cantankerous commenter who is decidedly fresh to the hobby.
What do you say there, liver lips?
And he's a country gentleman, getting by on good old-fashioned Southern charm.
But when I'm with my cards, I am carefree like a 12-year-old.
Can two vintage card collectors coexist in conversation without driving each other crazy?
The cracked ice house treasures kaboomy.
Kaboomies.
Kaboomy, one of one.
You got to get some Southern drawl in this YouTube community, man.
This is Hobby Talk with the odd couple, Tony the Southern Collector and Mike Petty.
Mike Petty, let's go.
What do you say there, beaver feet?
Let's go, man. Tonight, this is the last one of the year. We're fixing to burn this mother down.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, man. We got a lot to cover tonight. So let me do a little rundown real quick.
Sounds
We're going
good.
to do our most memorable moments of 2025. We're going to throw out a few of them. We've had a bunch, but throw out a few.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some childhood collecting memories. You know, we're going to go back into the memory banks. We're going to do, each of us picked out 10 random top 10 cards under $100. We're going to go through those. I'm going to ask a question. How are we going to approach 2026 differently than we did 2025? Maybe there's some different, maybe there's not. And then we've got some big hobby news to talk about. I'm not really going to tell what it is right here, but if you're watching this right now, you need to stay tuned to the end because maybe you've heard about this, maybe you haven't. And then finally, to end off the year, we're going to do a petty minute. You got your blood pressure pills ready?
Actually, I didn't. I left the bourbon over by the bar. No blood pressure pills. It's going to be a very calm petty minute. It's the end of the year. I got nothing.
Every time you say that,
I got nothing. I'm gonna sing a song tonight instead. Got a new microphone. My third one. The other two were in the pool.
Man, I'm glad you threw that one out that you used on Greg's deal. That was, man.
Yeah. That was the most expensive one. Oh, God.
Oh my goodness.
All right, you guys do.
So this has been an awesome year. This is odd couple number 11. So we're 11 months deep. We've had some really cool moments. You've picked up some huge cards. I have too. We have killed it on that way. But you know, let's talk about some moments that maybe stand out to us. So I'll let you go first and give me a moment. Give me a moment in 2025 you'll always remember.
I mean, the fact that we started this show back in, I think it was February or March, it's been pretty special to do all these episodes with you and to carry on for 11 shows here. So that's certainly one of my highlights. I've had a lot of highlights on YouTube. The being on Sports Card Radio, that was a highlight. Recently being on Professor Sports Cards with Orlando, being like a regular guest on there every month. And of course, I mean, nothing would be complete without our live show that we've done with Midlife Crisis. That's my favorite of all. Jeremy Lee being asked to be on that show, and just being asked to be on a lot of different shows, and that's been pretty humbling and nice for me. And tried to be as honest as I can. I'm sure I burned a few bridges, and a few people are mad at me, but they'll get over it. And I don't mean it's not to mean any harm to anybody other than the real culprits, which are the greedy corporate bastards in the hobby and the scam cheater fuckers that I don't like. Other than that, I mean, everybody's off the hook. But other things for me though have been like going to shows. Started in February, going to the Ontario show and meeting up with a friend there and just having a great night and a great day at the show. Then of course Strongsville, which it's always a highlight. You know, that was an amazing time seeing you and all our buddies out there, and then the trade night and the YouTube gathering. And then after that, I mean, there's been local shows I've seen just the local guys out here, Mikey and Rick Acosta, and being with shopping with those guys, with Jeremy and a few other the guys who are just walking around, and then David Chase going to a show with him in August. After, of course, there's the National, and our friend Brian, who's a collector, spent the day with him shopping. So, I mean, these things are really made the card shopping experience and these shows so special and so much fun to just walk around with people that you've got to know through the hobby, see how they collect, try to, and you learn a lot from them. They learn a lot from you. You show each other the cards, and I don't know. It just there's something about it. Other than that, I mean, I think that covers it, everything for this year for me. How about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same, man. I just did my video on the year-end wrap-up, and I mentioned a lot of that stuff that, while getting these big cards or little cards or medium cards or whatever cards are really cool, what's really cool are the people, man. Like, so I'll just start off with Strongsville. I'd never met you in person before. And so getting to meet you in person, you're a lot taller than I thought you were.
Shit.
But anyways, going out to eat with y'all, doing the breakfasts, and we had Scott tagging along every time. We had different people tagging along. We're eating, lunch together, going to dinner, and Darren leaving his backpack with like $8,000 in it on the back.
I was in such a great conversation at the bar there with Andrew. Enough said cards. I was just bonding with him and talking, and we were in a great conversation. And Darren said, "Oh shit, I left my bag with all my money at the restaurant." I go, "Dude, I gotta go." And I went with him and talked him off the ledge, which I don't blame him, man. I mean, that's some scary shit, leaving your cash there. He says, "I want it," and then he called and they said they had it, and then he wondered if they checked it and they took the money out. I go, "Just give it." I gave him some money to give her as a tip, and I said, "Just give her the tip like it's all in there." He goes, "What if it's not in there?" I go, "Dude, just don't think about it."
Yeah, exactly.
But sure enough, they gave it back. It was all in there. And I'm still waiting for my 100 back from Darren too. No,
so anyways, that was epic.
But that was epic.
We started doing the Odd Couple, and I've looked forward to this every month. But to me, the highlight of the past year on the Odd Couple was the Hobby Palooza. And, we had all those people watching live. We had never done one live. And this bad boy right here made an appearance. And after that, see how I change when I put this on, man? It's
boy, you're mean as a rattlesnake with that.
Yeah, I am. But after this made an appearance, several other people on their shows put on hats with hair, and next thing you know, it's trending on Twitter.
Well, I can hardly blame them. They grab onto a good thing.
I don't need to wear that, man.
But look how you change with that. That's kind of like me. It's the power is in the hair.
Yeah, that's what it is. The power is in the hair. But anyway, Strongsville was epic.
Yeah.
We might be talking about Strongsville here in a little bit. And then
who could be?
The National, man, was so awesome. What was awesome was going to Sheila's Joe's that first night and I bought that big platter for everybody. we had about 100,000 calories on
that. Was the sickest platter. It was a gigantic plate, about like a Thanksgiving plate full of fried food, every kind of fried food, and on top of it, baked potatoes.
That's right, man.
Loaded. So that was incredible, and I was never so sick the day after.
I wasn't. I was just.
That was your regular everyday eating.
Man, in the South, that's just what we eat. Ooh. So we have a lot of the same memories. But man, while that's in the past, I'm looking forward to 2026. But looking back, we talked about this, going to share some childhood collecting memories. If you want to, you can go first, or I can go first. Do you want to go?
Go ahead. You're on a roll.
All right, man. So I shared this on a episode, man, one of my first episodes, about my childhood collecting journey. Okay. So one of the coolest things ever was my mama would, we played Little League baseball at Una Recreation Center was what it was called. And it was down the street, and it was like old school, like all the neighborhood kids played and all your buddies were there. And opening day of Little League, man, was huge. They did a parade through the parking lot and everybody
Yeah.
walked with their team, you know. I mean, it was old school. I don't know if they still do. Well, my kids never got to do a parade on opening day, but we did all that. And then you'd walk out on the field and they'd call each team and you'd walk out there and, you know, like it's a World Series. It was just for
They
your
still
league.
do that here too. Yeah.
So, man, it was cool. And so
Mhm.
after the game, you know, you'd play at like a 11 o'clock game and you'd want to hang out. I'd hang out at Union Recreation Center until they turned the lights off at night. My mom, we only lived 10 minutes away. She'd come pick me up, me and my little brother. Then we'd stay out there and we'd get these cardboard round pizza things, and we'd use them for bases. And we'd get one of those wax Pepsi cups and we'd wad them up into a ball, and you'd knock the end out of a Pepsi cup and slide it on your hand to cushion it, and you'd play cup ball. So you'd be up to bat, and there was this embankment in the back of where we were, and that was the outfield fence. If you hit it on top of that embankment, it was a home run, and pegs were allowed. You couldn't hit each other in the face. That was it. But pegs were out. And you'd stay out there for days hitting. Well, the other rule about Union Recreation Center was if you got a foul ball and took it to the concession stand, they give you a free Coke. Well, me and my cousin, Robert Charlton, we got to thinking about this. A Coke was 50 cents, but guess what else was 50 cents? A pack of Topps baseball cards. Now, a fountain Coke, you know, you can give those away. You know, it's coming out as a big canister, but they're really not supposed to give you the pack cards. But the gullible little mama behind the counter that night didn't understand that. And we didn't know we were really, but we thought, man, why can't we get a pack of cards? She said, sure. Well, man, we turned into some crazy imbeciles. We were chasing foul balls. We left that night with a stack of cards that big, and they were out of baseball cards. The next time we come back to the park, there's a sign on the counter, foul balls for Cokes only, no candy or baseball cards.
You ruined it for everybody.
I did. I still have those cards, man. And
Incredible.
I loved having those. So that's my first one. So now
Yeah.
your turn.
Okay, so well, one of my earliest card adventures that I can recall was, well, of course, there was Little League. I don't remember baseball cards so much involved in that, but we lived on a street that was a dead end,
Yeah, we
and
did.
so about 4 houses down, they had a wash, and there was 2 fences in between the wash, and we had spray painted bases in the street. And you would rarely get cars coming down that way. So we must have had probably 8 to 10 kids on the street at any one time. We would all meet. It was an everyday thing. We would keep stats, and we would, we'd hit home, we'd pitch against each other, and we'd try to hit home runs. And it was just far enough where we can hit them. And but that was probably when I was about 10 years old, at least. And I remember specifically that 1971 was the first year that I started collecting. So me and my neighbor, we would drive around the city on our bicycles, and we would collect pop bottles. Yeah. And I'd never forget, we would find one here, one there. We'd get them in bags, and then we'd go to the liquor store. Well, one time we went in back of the liquor store and found all their stash of bottles and their empty bottles that they were doing. And there was like a hole in the fence, and we just it was just a perfect crime. So back then we took all the bottles, and then there was no cameras or anything like that. We would bring them inside, but pretty much every penny that we earned, and then obviously the pop bottles that we took or we collected and stole, we bought baseball cards, boxes and boxes of them. So 1971, that we probably had 15 to 20 of every player in the first 4 series. And then, of course, you had these high numbers, which were really only out for about a month or two. So there was less of them. But that was one of the times when I would think the best collecting experience of my life. I was collecting hockey at that point. I was collecting basketball, football. Could even go to a liquor store at one point and find 1970 packs unopened, believe it or not, the same price. So that was pretty special. And I think the rest is history. That was where I remember seeing that Richie Allen. He was on the Dodgers. I would go to Dodger games 10 times a year. And I remember seeing him for the first time, and he hit a home run over center field. I had never seen a home run hit like that, quite that hard towards center field. I must have been, like I said, 10, 11. And it made an impression on me. And that was the first time that I saw a card that was off center. And everybody on the block, we were trying to find one centered, and we never did. And I'm talking about having 10 or 15 of more of every card. So that's my next thought about one of my adventures.
Yeah, and we know you've shared your thoughts about that 71 set, especially that Richie Allen card.
Oh, yeah. Nobody likes it. Nobody cares. Everybody wants to make fun of it.
I care.
But that was okay. Well, I know you cared. And it is I don't know that it's so much underrated anymore. People love it. It's a classic set, hard to find cards centered, hard to find them unmolested. There's a lot of them out there, printed a lot.
Well,
but
you want to share your Christmas present I got, since we're talking about that card?
Not yet.
Okay, all right. Well, then we'll hold it.
Because we're gonna be bringing it up later.
Okay.
When
all
we
right.
show our
my next story is this: when I would cut yards, I don't remember. I think I got $5 a yard or something.
Mm-hmm.
My mama would go to this little market called Whitworth's Market, and I'm going to share a picture of what it looks like now. That is Whitworth's Market today.
Oh, man. Beautiful.
Back then it had little gas pumps out front, and there was this guy that run out and fill your tanks up. I think there was 2 gas pumps, but now it's some plumbing place. But anyways, on Murfreesboro Road right there, I'd run in them doors right there, and I would get me some 1980 tops, 1981 Donruss. When those came out, were so cool. The Fleer, because those were new. And so that was Whitworth's Market right there. And that was a big deal to me back then. And
that's great.
So anyways, I had to go on Google Street View to find that bad boy, and I was surprised how different it looked. But
that was America back then. We had those great little liquor stores that were like that, and and little drug stores where we would go. 7-Elevens were just starting to come out with their Slurpee cups, and we would drive our bikes there to get mostly baseball cards and those Slurpee cups that they had, the baseball cups. But I can remember. So another one of my thoughts when I think back about my collecting journey goes back to about 1972, and that was when the 1972s came out. Again, I had stacks and stacks of everything from 71, and 72 was worse. So I had probably 40 of every card. I'm talking Mays, Clementi's, every one of these cards. We didn't look at the centering or anything. And I remember I had a project. It must have been for junior high or maybe 6th grade. And I made a collage. It was a collage, must have been 16 by 20. And I took all these cards of all these great players, Clementi's, Aaron's, all the best players, and I cut them up. So I didn't just stick the cards to the board. I cut the cards. So I cut the 72s, I cut the 71s, and I put them all on this board. I had it for many years because when I was in my 20s, I had folded it, I had put it away, and my friends used to joke, we would count how much money it was worth with like 4 Willie Mays on there, Hank Aaron's. And so it didn't stop there because I had so many cards. I did my entire inside of my closet the same way with a collage. So all these cards, awesome. I still had, 5, 6 cards of every one, but thousands of dollars of cards pasted, cut out and pasted 71 and 72 in my old closet when I was a kid. So that was quite remarkable.
Yeah. So I used to do that with Sports Illustrated. I would cut the photo off the cover, and I'd cut almost, just cut real tight around Michael Jordan or whatever, and then put that on the wall, instead of the whole cover.
Yeah.
I had stuff all over my wall just like
I
that.
did too. I made little art projects with decoupage, and even up
Yeah.
until I was 17 years old, of Muhammad Ali and the U.S. hockey team from 1980 and shit like that too. But I mostly had Playboy centerfolds on my wall. My mom didn't care. I had them all on my paneling, and my friends would walk in like, "What the hell's going on in here?" I go,
Shoot, I had a picture. I had a photo, or not a photo, but a poster of Madonna in her Desperately Seeking Susan outfit. When I was in high
well,
school.
I also had the Farrah poster. All guys from my era.
Oh
had the
yeah,
Farrah poster.
but my mom, you'd have thought I had a centerfold on the wall having that Madonna.
Man, she didn't like
trash.
Oh man,
I'm like,
my
no,
mom,
she's not,
my mom and dad, God bless them, they were
she's trash now.
she spoiled like milk, like a lot of women do their age. Don't
man.
on the oil spay. Don't say that too loud.
Yeah,
but
so, anyways, any other memories? I mean, my only other one I was going to share.
Go ahead.
Across the street from Whitworth was a Kroger shopping. I don't know if y'all have that in the West Coast, but it's a grocery store, and they would have the rack packs. And my mom, me and my brother go with her, and my mom would say, "All right, we can get one of those. We can't get two." And so we take them home, open them up, take that brown paper bag. We would look through them first, see what was in there. And then we take all the cards and put in the bag. And we would know there's a 1980 Nolan Ryan, a 1980 Reggie Jackson. There was a Joe Charbonneau rookie in there.
Oh.
And so you'd shake it up, which was not good corners. But you'd shake it up, and then we alternated rear hand in the bag and pulling one out. And sometimes one of us would get all the good. It was the early way of breaking, I guess.
Yeah.
But my brother Greg would pull out the Reggie Jackson. I'd be like, "Dang it!" He's like, "It's okay. There's still a Ozzie Smith in there." Okay,
right.
So anyway, that was so much fun, man. We made a game out of it. It wasn't just opening a pack. It was a game. It was fun. So anyways, that's
one of the games that we used to play. So by the time now I told the story, like by the time I'm 10, 11, 12, now by the time I'm 13, I get into junior high and we meet this guy who we go over to his house, and his up above in the cabinets there, he's got all these huge acrylics. And we're talking about 1953 Willie Mays'. His dad had all these old cards, they were prime, and he kept them nice like that in those acrylics. And that was before the acrylic. I mean, we had those big thick acrylics, but that was already in the mid 80s and 90s,
Yeah,
so this must have been, like in the early 70s, like 74. And he had these acrylics already with these old cards. But I remember the guy's name was Jeff Warwick. And him and another couple of friends, he would come over with stacks of cards, and they were all from the 50s and 60s. And some of them were good, but we would play where we would flip the cards. Sometimes they would play a game when you would drop the card and you would try to drop the card on top of his card, and whoever, if it was this way. But we used to sit at one side of the room. So from one side, sit on the bed, and from the other, we would flick the card, which made us expert card flickers. Like to this day, I can flick a card, like 20 feet into a bowl, like a playing card with the way it curves and everything. So we got good. And then if you got a leaner on the wall, you'd get two cards of his, but otherwise you'd get you'd play close. Now, of course, when you hit the wall, the corners would all get ruined, but you still had the cards. And so that was one of my favorite memories of the time there too.
Yeah. I mean, when those would hit the wall, there is no telling the damage.
Yeah, we didn't care. We just threw them as hard as you could, because you tried to get it as close with the leaner. You tried to get it to curve up on the wall.
Yeah, I mean,
like you would play. You'd flick through their pile, and they'd flick through yours, and you go like this one for that one. And whoever got it closer, they'd take the card, and it was almost like lagging, like we did with quarters, in the bathrooms in junior high too. We did that.
Yeah. Well, man, those memories right there are kind of what set. I'm 56. And you're 57, I think.
I'm going to be on Social Security next year.
So, but that's what set us up on this journey, and that's kind of what's different about us and today's kids. Today's kids, they're pulling those out and they're putting them in penny slavers and they're carrying around these big cases and they're flipping cards, not like you did, flipping against the wall. They're flipping cards for bigger cards.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, man. And so
a whole different meaning.
But the biggest difference is, even then, when we were opening packs, your buddy's dad had those cards.
Yeah.
I had a guy at school named Jim Hutka, and one day he brought the binder to school, and he had a whole set of 1955 tops in there, his dad, in a binder. I was blown away. It blew me away. But in the Beckett's, our gold cards were those bad boys. We didn't really have gold. Like, I wanted Reggie Jackson. I wanted a Nolan Ryan. I wanted, whoever the big stars were of the day back then. But today's kids, they aren't looking at vintage that way. Like, that's their all-time like grail card.
They don't even look at modern that way. They look at it as a prospecting game.
Yeah.
Most of them. I saw this guy
Not
play.
all of them. I mean, there's some that collect, but
Well, I have to, like I mentioned, that Ellie Deli Cruz guy. Like, he's a decent ball player. He's certainly not one of the top 10 major leaguers of all time, nor will he ever be. With that strike, the only thing he is the best at, he is a prolific strikeout artist for an offensive player. So what? Herb Washington is fast.
He is fast.
He's an exciting player, and he's been extremely healthy the last couple of years. I'll give him that, which is a hard thing to do when you're that. I mean, he's got a ton of talent. If he was on the Dodgers, I'd love him. But I mean, I just think the insane amount of money people are spending on that crap.
I know. I agree with you. These guys, your point is.
But it's all crap in the end. I mean, when I start thinking about it, we'll talk about it a little bit, further a little bit later when we get into some other topics. But I mean, it should all be for fun, really. Like we said, it's a hobby. We talk about value a lot. We hope they're worth more than we paid, but in reality, it's not going to make a bit of difference one way or another if it is or not. If you're collecting the right way and you don't use any of your household money or your family money for your card collection, it's just a collection. It's a collection of cardboard crap. And if you look at it any differently, you're just going to be disappointed, really.
That's right. So speaking of big collections, a lot of people put us into this tier that we collect Grail cards and we collect all these. And we do have some big cards. But we also have other cards. We have cards that aren't that expensive that are important to us too. So we're going to go.
They're all important to me.
Exactly.
Every card. So, and I wouldn't say that one is more important than the other than it costs more. So, whatever you want to think, it's just we've worked for it. We've worked for it a
behind
lifetime.
Me right here that go in a safe after this is over, and then there's others that don't. It doesn't mean they're not important. It just means I don't want you stealing my crap. So, you're not going to steal my some of these I'm going to show tonight, but it doesn't, I don't want you to steal them. They're important to me too. But they're not going to tempt you. Let me put it that way. So as we go over these,
well, you come for my stuff. If I happen to be home, you're not going to make it out alive. I can promise
you. That's me too. You'll have dog bites and bullet holes.
Hey, that dog might run for the hills. You might get through that thing, but you're not going to get past the firepower that I've got here.
Exactly. You might hit them with a gold.
I might get lucky, believe it or not. You got lucky, babe.
Yeah.
When I met you.
As we go through this, part of that childhood collecting, that's why I want to talk about that first, is going to come into play on mine, and I'm sure it's going to come into play on yours too. So the first two of yours, you wanted me to share their honorable mentions. So I'm going to throw those up on the screen right here.
Right. So these are a couple of my favorites. These are less than $100. That's the key here. So the 1971 Kellogg's, look at these cards here, guys. The Tom Seaver. And I could have picked, Willie Mays or the Clemente in that set or the Bob Gibson or the Rose, but every card is spectacular in this set. It's a difficult set to find not cracked. It's the hardest one out of all of them. And I never got so much enjoyment with any series other than these 3D cards. They're some of my favorites around. Of course, then we go also look at the 1971 tops. Vita Blue. This is a high number card. I just always loved what's he doing? Is it a peace sign or is he throwing the ball, following fake throwing?
Yeah.
But it's just always been one of my favorite cards. It's a really, again, hard card to find centered. The centering on these cards are important. So like if everybody, if you start looking for cards, your favorites through this era for less than 100, don't settle for less than a centered copy. Make it a game. Pay a little bit more, because you'll start seeing there's a common thread with a lot of my cards here. These are 7 and a 6.5, but they're still relatively cheap. But by the time you start getting into 4s, 3s, 4s, and 5s, you're going to see some pretty nice cards here. But these I just wanted to show because they are a couple of my favorites.
Well, I'm not going to promise that mine are nice. I'm just going to tell you I like them. So
okay.
So that's all I'm going to say. So the first one of mine, by the way, those are both beautiful. One of my favorite collecting memories actually was, we didn't have cell phones back in the day, but back in the day we had, when we would eat breakfast in the morning, we'd be eating that Kellogg cereal. You would look at the back, you'd read the box. And in 1980, the Kellogg's box had the card thing, and you could send off the coupon thing you clipped off in the mail in like $5 or something and get the entire set. And in 1980, that's the only year they're regular sized cards. They're the same size as Topps cards. And I went to the mailbox every day for a month trying to wait for that to come in. And they finally came in. And I've got the Ricky Henderson, 1980 Ricky Henderson rookie. Or it might have been 81, but if that is, it ain't his rookie. But either way, beautiful cards. Have a yellow star border around them.
Mm-hmm. I have the Nolan Ryan from that set. Yeah, it's nice. They're nice.
Yeah, still have them. So so anyways, I'm gonna go to my first one. Now this one I had as a kid, and this one is a pretty one. It's a little off top bottom, but I showed the back on this for a reason. I always loved the ones that were the last card of some old time major leaguer.
Yeah.
Because of the microscopic stats.
Well, they didn't used to be microscopic then. You could read them very clearly. Now I need a magnifying glass or the reader glasses.
Yeah. I've had a frog in my throat here. But I remember in 1980, there was the Carl Yastrzemski and the Lou Brock. I believe the 80 was their last one. And I remember like, man, these guys must be really good, because I was just learning about the players back then. I didn't really, and then they had the record breaker, like Lou Brock broke the steals record or set it.
Yeah.
And Yastrzemski set some record. And so I was learning about the players and how good they were through the backs of their baseball cards. So
absolutely. I was learning averages and how to do math by the pitchers and all this with the batting averages. They were really important. It was fun.
So I got that one when I did my errand run. The first thing I did when I came back in the hobby is I did a player run of Hank Aaron because I appreciated him so much and what he meant to the game.
Me too.
And, so anyways, that was part of that run. So I think I paid like $40 for that card or something. So it's not an expensive card, even in a 6. So anyway.
So you could find a card like that in a 6 right now, or even a 7 for less than 100. Probably get it centered, nicely done like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's right.
What else you got?
So here's your next one.
What about you? Didn't you have 2 of them?
Well, I did, but I can go ahead and share that. Let me.
You don't mean to get too far ahead.
These 2.
Oh.
After I read the book Our Team about the 1948 Cleveland Indians, in the Steve Gromek story, and him and Larry Doby hugging in the locker room and that picture going nationwide, I really liked that story. So being a signed card guy, I went on eBay and started searching. One of these I got off Love of the Game, and the the ungraded one I got off eBay. I think I paid $33, right around $30 for each. Just an amazing card, amazing story. So I'm collecting things based off of stories a lot of times, and so these Gromeks will pair well with my Dobies. And one day, when
And
my
I love the way, I mean, look at that picture.
Uh-huh.
That's just gorgeous the way you've done that.
So one day when my grandson or any of my other, right now I have one grandkid, I want to use these cards as storytelling and teach them about how we love people regardless of their color or their creed or their religion or
That's all we can do.
or politics. Who cares? We should look at people like God looks at everybody and through that lens. And so anyways, that's why I picked these cards. So
beautiful.
All right, so let me pull up your next one. There you go.
There we go. That shows you right there a couple of beautiful fours. I mean, the 1962 Topps Hank Aaron, you can get that card for a song, probably for 50. I think I probably paid $40 or something. But it just shows, that 1962 year. I wasn't really always in love with it, but if you, again, when you know how hard that card is to find like this, with the centering and with that wood grain, without it being all chewed to hell. And it's a 4. It's like, I mean, come on, how could you not buy that? It shows a young Hank Aaron and one of my favorite players of all time. Also, the Gil Hodges, 1951 Bowman has become one of my favorite sets. It's funny because there was a time when I never even included Bowman in my card collecting journey. It was like it was Topps only. But getting to learn about the Bowmans, this became my favorite Bowman set by a long shot. And this card of Gil Hodges, it's the same one he has from 1950, just a little bit differently, done a little bit differently. And again, look at great centering. And these cards here with these higher numbers, these higher PSA numbers here, guys, just have at it. It's a crapshoot out there of greatness for cards and for centering and for everything.
I agree.
And they're grading them so tough. These are like 7s.
Yeah, if you can get them for a 4 price, that's a killer deal right there.
Exactly.
So let me pull up my next one. So got two ends of the spectrum here. The 73 Topps Hank Aaron. The reason I picked that one, again, it was part of my Aaron run. Kind of a funky picture right there, but
I love it.
I remember that card. I had that card as a kid too. One year, my dad started making stuff in our garage, trying to make extra money. Made these tater boxes and made these wood tater boxes and would take them to the flea market in Nashville and try to sell them. And me and my brother loved it when he did that because we had the full run of the flea market on Saturday and Sunday. And so people had boxes of cards back then, and you would just go through them. And this would have been about 1982-ish. And so, this 73 cards seem really old to me. And I know some people hate this. Oh,
I love them.
Catching the ball. I mean,
playing first.
Man, I think it's awesome. Look at the uniform. I mean,
action shot.
So anyways, love the card. And then I got Shoestring Ohtani, as you call him.
Oh, love him. Shoestring. He's the best.
I got this a couple of years ago just because it's his rookie card. It's not the chrome or nothing like that.
Yeah, it's his base card.
$30 on it. Now, Card Ladder's saying this bad boy is worth about $100 now. But I don't know if it is. There's probably 30,000 of these graded or something. But it's still a cool card, man.
There's 30,000 Griffey cards graded too, and look at the prices they're getting right now.
Yeah. So anyway,
they're still printing them.
That's why I chose those. So
beautiful.
Let's go to your next one.
Okay. Oh, look at these two beautiful cards. Again, going back to the Bowman, the Larry Doby. You know how I love Larry Doby also, just like you do.
Yeah.
He was just he missed being the first black player by a month?
Yep.
3 weeks, and was the first black player in the American League, but gets no love. And this is just for me one of his better cards. Just showing him there with the bat, with the stadium behind him.
Yeah, Yankee
and again,
Stadium.
again, look at the numbers and the 4 and how it would have a beautiful centered. For me, that's centered. Top and bottom, but it's not perfectly centered, but it's nicely centered. And the card just speaks to me. And the Monty Irvin, again, another guy that was, by the time he made it to the majors in 1951, I mean, he was already 30 years old or so, and he started off really slow with his career. And he actually became a Hall of Famer by really only playing, about 6 years? 7 years in the majors?
Yeah, something like that.
6 or 7 years. And I mean, this portrait, they had such whoever drew these, I forget who it was, but they made these guys with the pig noses. And I always love Monty with the pig nose. And if you look at Mantle, he has the pig nose too, doesn't he? The 53 Mantle. Yeah. But I mean, this card here was how much was this? This was like a $75 card or something. And look, it's a 3. It's much nicer than the 5 that I sold. It's much more centered. The corners are better. There's no creases. Nothing on the back is perfect. It's just these graders are just, they're fucked in the head.
The camera loved Monty Irvin. He is so photogenic in all his cards. He's got a big smile on his face. He is the opposite of Willie Mays and Larry Doby. Because Doby looks constipated. Mays just always looks pissed. But anyways, Irvin, he loved the camera, man. So
he was like Banks, smiling all the time, right? They were happy to be there.
Yep. So here's my next one. And I got a Larry Doby. This one, Best wishes. I mean, that right there is worth $50 just having that up there.
Absolutely.
So anyways, now just this one right here, there's I think only one graded copy of this year. I think this is the 54.
Well, you can't really tell without looking on the back unless you know.
Right. It doesn't have the tab.
They may have the same color. They could be a different color than the other. I don't know enough about
it is.
I have some of them, but
the other one's green. So,
the other one's green.
So anyways, just love the card, love the best wishes, love the signature. And then we got this Pete Rose 1978
classic
card. Now, this is the first card I ever remember pulling out of a pack right there at Una Recreation Center after a game. My parents let me buy a pack of baseball cards, open it there in the parking lot. And I remember that Pete Rose being on the top. And I thought, wow, his last name's Rose and he plays for a red team. I thought that was so cool because I was 9 years old. And, but anyways, I remember opening up that card. And so I still have my childhood card, but I did buy that one already graded. So
that's a gorgeous card.
Story behind that one.
Yeah.
All right. So let's pull up your next one.
All right. Where are we at? This is about 4 left.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this is down to, well, again, Roberto Clemente, 1966. Great year for him. I believe he did he win the MVP that year or something, batting title or something good?
Yeah, he was killing it about that.
He was killing it then. Really tough card to find centered. I ended up just getting rid of I had it in like a SGC 6, I think. It was way off center. It looked like shit. And so basically I'm turning in these cards for free. These 4s, I've sold cards that were in higher grades, and with the profits, they've really been basically, $10, $12 free. And the Nolan Ryan the same way. I sold a BVG 7.5 that literally, I don't think it looked as nice as this one. This 4. And I got this for like $75, I think, about 2-3 months ago. And I ended up getting a 6.5 as well. So I have 2 of them for less money than I got for that 7.5. It was centered. It was a nice card. But had I broken it out or tried to play the crossover game, it would have come back a 5 or something, Again, a classic card.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I had a quick trigger. Yeah, the 71s are absolutely beautiful. I've got that same card right over there. I got to do my card room reveal, but mine's in a 6.5 in a SGC slab. So it's worthless since it's in that black slab. But
yeah, because it really is. You got to have the PSA on it.
I love that card. I love the Royal Crown Cola being behind it.
Absolutely, it's classic. One of his favorite. Well, these were when they were just starting to experiment with these action shots in 71, so they were really something. And this was a good one.
I agree. And that's a great
All
card.
both less than $100.
So this one, the 78 tops, again, the first set I collected, I never pulled this card. So I saw this one with Molitor's autograph on it. I thought, man, I want to get that. So I think I paid like $60 for it. You can get them with all 4 people on there. And I've also seen them with Molitor and Trammell, but settled for just the one. And then the Michael Jordan Upper Deck card. I was out of the hobby by the time this hit. I was married and just didn't collect. I still had my old cards, but I wasn't buying packs. And I just always wanted this card. I just thought it was cool. And under $100 for an 8. Now I didn't need a 10 or nothing, but so
it was
anyway.
nice to see him play baseball after he got suspended for
was.
gambling, and for he was a great singles hitter when he didn't strike out.
Yeah, he was.
So,
and he was great. Small, he looked like a deer running around out there.
He did.
All right,
he did.
Here's your last 2.
All right, the last 2 again. Well, there's of course the 1970 Kellogg's Willie Mays in an 8 can be had for $100. Hard to believe because it's a really hard card. Not as hard as the 71 to find uncracked, but to find these 1970s uncracked is just really a tough thing. And when you look at them, it's like the eyes. When you see them in 3D, it's like, they're really staring at you. And of course, the Richie Allen, which I have. Of course, I have 2 or 3 copies. This is one that was about $100, but it's pretty well centered. And you don't find them whenever I can find them this well centered, I'm going to pick them up.
It's newly graded too.
And it's graded and newly graded, and it's these cards in a 5, they just have a tippy touch. There's no creases, there's no nothing. When you turn them over on the back, they look like 7s. So I mean, a lot of these 71 tops that you would need to buy them in a 7 for them to look good. You can find them in a 5 or a 6 now that they look just as good. And if you're interested in building them out or doing a Hall of Fame run, there must be over 30 players in that set that are in the Hall of Fame. So it's it's one of those sets too. It's good to do a Hall of Fame run, or if you collect Hall of Fame players. And then the last one that while we're on here, we're going to show, you can show that slide now, because this was my first signed card that I owned, other than a 4 collector's card that was turned away by PSA.
I didn't know it was your first one you've owned.
It was my first. I had no signed cards.
Wow, at all. I had no idea.
And this was a gift from, of all people, you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to thank you very much for that. It means the world to me. I think I might have told you already that he was a cultural figure back in 1971 that people, they want to give, you had the Larry Dobys, you had the Jackie Robinsons, you had the Kurt Floods, and people who stood up to the establishment. But this guy stood up to the establishment too. And it's why the Dodgers had him for a year. He hit pretty well with the Dodgers. They couldn't wait to get rid of him. He was a clubhouse, he rocked the boat. He wanted to play his guitar. He obviously wouldn't come out and sign autographs. As I told you that I was there every week. I was had 6 people to here. I was able to go up and get 2 more. And I just wanted to get his autograph on my program. And I never could get it. He never came out to sign autographs. So to have this in my collection is really special. So I wanted to thank you. Because you know how it's so hard to give gifts to people. Like, what do you really get anybody, But this one, of all things, this one really hit home. I mean, you said there was only 3 signed copies known or something like that.
There's only 3 graded, man. I
3 graded
raw, and I was like, I got to get that.
So I'll never grade this, and you can tell this. I mean, the flow that this has, and says it Rich Allen, and it's gorgeous. I never bother, but you see how it's not centered.
No, it's not.
This is the way that most of the cards are this way.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks.
See, that's the beauty of collecting signed cards. You don't care if they're centered. You care about the autograph.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. So anyways, well, let me pull up my last one, and then we'll get on to the next subject. So my last one has to do with my childhood collecting as well. So you got all these grand stories about going to freaking Dodger Stadium. I went to Greer Stadium, and Nashville, where the Nashville Sounds played. And in 1981, I watched a lineup with Willie McGee, Don Mattingly, who else? Buck Showalter. Who else? Man, there was a couple other. Brian Dayette. And there was, there was the big skinny guy that played outfield. Anyways, so I love those guys. That card represents my childhood. I bought
That's
it. Already
great.
I recently bought the entire team set.
Oh, nice.
So, in fact, I can tell you that other guy was.
Yeah.
My card
Flip through some of those.
So, here, let me pull me up on the solo screen here. If I can figure out how to do this crap. Well, I don't know how. But anyway, you got this. Here's Willie McGee.
Oh, yeah. I loved him.
Here it is. Otis Nixon. That's who I couldn't.
Otis Nixon, center fielder.
Yeah, center fielder for the Braves. And Buck Showalter, Ted Wilburn played a little bit. So anyways, those guys are my childhood. I remember they made it to the Southern League Championship that year. And we went to the playoffs, and just like they did in the pre-war era, they roped off center field, and you could stand on the warning track. And if the ball rolled in there, it was a ground rule double. And if it hit over the outfield, it was a home run. So, and then on the right here, Mattingly, because I watched him in the minors, was my guy. And so that's his rookie card. I was able to get him to sign my childhood rookie card. I didn't buy that one, so I didn't share it because I didn't buy it. But but I met him last year at a banquet in Nashville.
I remember that.
And so, anyways, it's a card that means a lot.
He's a hell of a nice guy. He deserves so much more. A lot of people. I don't believe that he's really was a Hall of Famer like
I do,
like everybody does. But I mean, they always his main claim to fame was he had a strong work ethic.
Man, he was the best player in Major League Baseball.
He never did anything. He was average.
Here's what I'm going to give you a gong. You ain't going to be able to hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I couldn't hear it. So as long as I can't hear it, it doesn't exist. Do it again.
Right.
Do it again.
So on to the next topic.
That was fun. That was really fun.
There is I believe, a video coming out. We're taping this on a Sunday night. I believe a video is coming out tomorrow on Monday. This won't come out until Tuesday morning. Big announcement about Strongsville. They are changing locations from the hockey rink to another place.
What?
Yes.
Are you shitting me?
And they're sharing the location. No, they're sharing the location with a modern, some kind of already put together modern show that's up there, and they're sharing.
What? No, this ain't happening.
But they're putting a curtain down the middle, so it feels like curtain. So, our first reaction when me and you heard this yesterday, we were talking with a couple of our buddies. You can imagine who those are if you know who we are. And we were pissed. And part of it was like, this is our show. We want to stay in the ratty hotel because it's our hotel and it's like a dorm room. We want to walk across the crappy pavement over there to the crappy ice rink and the crappy pavilion, and we want to go to our all vintage show. It's our show.
We want to go there. We want to eat cold pizza in the big room down there.
Yeah.
We want to have the elevator out. We want the bed bugs.
Yeah.
We like the shower rusted out.
Yeah. So it reminded me of this clip from Everybody Loves Raymond. I'm going to play it real quick.
All right.
Why don't you go put on one of those records? I'd love to hear it.
Good idea, sister.
With pleasure, Dad.
Here, Robert. This is a nice one.
Thank you, darling.
Here we go.
Great, so what am I supposed to do with my CDs now? You take them, you listen to them, you might like them. You should try to keep an open mind about things.
All right, here it is.
Now That's music.
Okay, so the premise is Raymond and his wife try to surprise his dad, who was an old curmudgeon guy, but he was a lovable curmudgeon, kind of like we are, and replace his entire album collection with brand new CDs that didn't have the crackle and the fuzz, but it pissed him off because he liked the crackle and the fuzz.
That's
he
right.
Liked the small ice rink. He liked vintage only. He liked the crappy hotel with no elevators. I stayed on the top floor. I walked up those stairs and I loved every freaking minute of it.
Me too. And I'm much heavier than you, and I never complained one
I
step
loved
all
the
way
crappy bar down there, and the woman
too.
that was down there was friendly. I tipped her, and we got drinks. We hung out. We chewed the fat. We had our awesome vintage trade night.
We had $1 million worth of cards stolen from there.
Yeah. We didn't care.
It was real. That's really a shame that they did. What really pisses me off, and I'm starting to get my blood pressure up. I can feel it now. Now it's starting to come back to me. But I just think that they should have told us much earlier. A lot of people made reservations already. We fought to get in there, all of us, to get a reservation, to get a room. Yeah. And the trade night and all this other shit that they had out there, they just really fucked up a good thing. And it might be all right. You know,
it might be great.
I mean, it will be great because we're all going to be there.
That's right.
And but we'll see. What I don't like is I don't like that there's not a hotel right next door. And I
ain't got nothing against modern collectors or Pokemon collectors. I really don't.
But if I want that show, I can stay right here and drive 30 minutes. I don't need to fly fucking 5 hours to Cleveland.
What made that show special was it was just freaking vintage in the room. It was
exactly.
It was us walking into our Disneyland. Right. Now they took Disneyland and they put it right next door to some other crappy thing that we don't like, and we're having to be in the same room as it, and it just isn't as special. Now, I'm gonna have a
and if you would have told me that that was the last one last year, I probably would have made other arrangements, like to go to Philly or Dallas, or we could have all met up somewhere. We could have met up in Ontario, where it might be, a little bit better for 3 or 4 guys. We could have done something. And so now we're stuck. We're committed to this pretty much in April. And we're gonna hope for the best. And like I said, with all the people, I'm sure a lot of people were going to cancel because once again, my knee-jerk reaction about change and how all this change in the hobby is like, fuck you, I don't want to collect anymore. Fuck you, I'm not going. But then in the end, I'm only hurting myself, and I want to go. I'm not going to be buying the same things that I was. I mean, I don't even think we talked about that. It's we're getting kind of late on time here. Maybe we'll go a little extra to talk about our goals or what, but I'll do a petty minute on this guy right now, this fucking Mikey Singer guy. You might want to put that thing on.
Well, hold on. So just real quick we're setting it up, because I had a feeling you were going to talk about this.
Yeah.
So just to put a bow on it, okay? So we are also trying to figure this out. I have booked rooms already there. You've booked a room. The biggest thing is I want
everybody's booked a room.
But we've canceled our other one. We booked a new room, but I just got through saying at the beginning of this, so did you. The cards are great, but what really makes this fun are the people. So we're going to put our happy face on. We're going to go there. We're going to experience. We're going to do it together, and we're going to see how it is. And we're going to keep, like Ray's dad said, we're going to have an open mind. We're going to listen to the CD. It's going to be, in a bigger location. You're not going to smell people's armpits as
You're going to have and I don't need a fucking curtain. You could have one side there because I'm going to want to go through. I want to be able to go into the other side.
Dude, this is just
now you have vintage. Are you going to
What does this remind you of? We're still going to let them operate.
Everybody's going to be segregated. I don't want to be segregated.
It's SGC. It's Beckett. hey, we're
It's
behind
big
them.
business.
It's changed, but it's going to stay the
It's gonna
same.
be
Even though there's a
great.
curtain there and you're going in with the Pokemon people, it's going to be the same. Yeah, we're
It's the same as a West Coast show. It's the same as Philly. Philly's better.
It's not
All these
different
shows,
now.
all these other shows up there, Scranton and all these little places.
All right, so
All right.
let me get my clock.
This shouldn't take long. It could only take 30 seconds, but
All right.
I don't have anything written down, but I just would like to give a shout out to the CEO.
And you're going to do this without your blood pressure pill, right?
No, I don't fucking need it. Let's go.
Okay,
Get
well,
roll
here
that
we go.
clock. Fuck that guy. All right. Hey, Mikey Singer. You're no singer, buddy. You look like Maurice Gibbs. Okay. So we already heard one song. I started a joke that had the whole card world spinning, but I could not see that the joke was on me. Oh, yeah. So, Maurice, next time I see you, you better give free tickets and free everything to our group because you fucked everybody. You fucked the mayor, poor Yogi, who sets up there. The trade night the collectors did at the hotel every year, you fucked them. You better roll out the carpet, buddy, because we're bringing a lot of money and we hold a lot of clout within the community. And anyway, did my buzzer go off? Because
Not yet.
I'm really pissed about it, to be honest with you. So, and if everybody, I want to have everybody, anybody that runs into that guy, Mikey Singer, call him Maurice Gibb because the guy looks just like him.
Oh my gosh. I wasn't expecting the Maurice get. Wait a minute. Do you feel better?
I feel a little bit better, but it's still sad. And I wanted to talk about, I mean, I didn't, that really wasn't planned or anything, you know, to talk about it, but I just am really salty. I'm really pissed about it. If I would have thought some other things to think of, if I'd have had some more time, you know, this was just like off the cuff. I thought I would sing like he would.
You sounded just like the Bee Gees.
Did I? Did, yeah. I sound like the Bee. I sounded like Maurice Gibb. If you should pull that up. That little stupid. The guy looks like a dead ringer.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
So that's over. We're gonna make the best of it. But yeah, so PSA got off the hook scot-free. We didn't really talk about the direction of our collections this
We'll
year.
get that on next time.
Okay, we'll talk about it next time or whatever. So,
well, this was fun.
I guess. I mean, I'm sorry that I couldn't have been.
Fruit. It was all flowers and lollipops and rainbows, and then we get to the end, and then
the petty minute. I have to do something a little shocking,
yeah.
but I mean,
I
really wasn't planning on it. I was really just planning on, you know, wishing everybody a happy new year and talking about our collecting goals and the direction that I was going to go and whatnot. But you can kind of see that we've talked about that on other shows. The direction. I ain't buying shit. Alligator arms. The only thing I got money for is lunches and dinners because I just can't get into my pockets with my elbows.
Oh my God.
My eyes are hurting. I can't see spending any money on big cards next year.
Well,
zero. Tops, fuck you.
I have
Fanatics. The double and especially PSA, SGC, and Beckett. That's all I want to say. You guys, thanks for following us. Tony, thank you for everything.
Oh, man,
thanks for being a great friend. Guys, thanks so much for commenting on Tony's channel and subscribing. Hit like and subscribe to his channel.
That's right.
Well, if you would, please, because he's monetized now. He needs $50 every few months. And but really, there's like 1,000 people that watch this, and we really appreciate you. It's nice that you have.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome when people.
And we're going to make the best of it in Cleveland. If you're planning on going before, try to keep going. We'll figure something out. And you know, if you can hitch a ride with us somewhere or follow us to where lunch is, or if you follow me out the door and you follow me tight, you may not get in our car, but if you get to the restaurant and we'll all sit together. I promise that Papa Petty will take care of everything.
You're going to have like 1,000 people. We're going to be like the pod.
I don't care. It's been a very good year.
All right, man.
All right,
Petty,
man.
just remember, Tony loves
Peace.
his baseball.
I do. Peace, love, everybody.
All right, we're out.
Tony loves his baseball.